to Neil Moss. I think it was called the Neil Moss room, and we were allowed a room at the back of the youth hostel for the equipment store.
Reorganised and better equipped, the new DCRO worked hard to improve its skills and standing amongst other first-line services, and to build an organisation of which its membership, made up of local cavers, could be proud. Gradually the old police-operated card index system was replaced by today's efficient, coordinated call-out and control. It's not always appreciated that cave rescue services now, as then, are manned entirely by volunteers, who not only respond quickly to actual call-outs, but spend a considerable amount of their spare time in training.
All the underground features are in peak on the surface.
Underground 8 from surface, over.
Modern electronics and equipment allow location and communication above and below ground, and contact with other rescue services at a level that could only have been imagined back in 1959, when lack of telephone and car ownership added to the already mountainous difficulties faced by those at the scene. That weekend, Ralph Johnson was camping at Router Farm and heard the news that cavers were wanted to join a team planning to re-enter Peak Cavern. The official reason given for this action was to remove any remaining equipment, but despite misgivings by many, there were others who felt that it was only right to make one last attempt to bring Neil to the surface.
And we wandered down to see if we could help, and I think I'm right in saying I was the only person there that had been down on the rescue. So I was collared into accompanying the first group, which included Joe Berger, another French guy, down to the final chamber, where we made an attempt to extract the body.
Was this a serious attempt?
Well, I'm not so sure. No, I don't think it was, to be honest. I think we made an attempt to extract the body, but there was little we could do that we hadn't already done. So the next idea was to cut through the ladder that he was standing on. And I climbed down with a little hacksaw, a little junior hacksaw, and chopped the ladder off, which fell down the shaft, but the body stayed where it was. There was no sound of a body falling. And that was about it. We would have been told not to take any risks. And so we didn't.
You found climbing out of the shaft easy enough?
No, because I'd cut the ladder off at head height without thinking. So when I came to climb out, of course, I got no ladder to climb on. And they did actually try to pull me out, and that was unsuccessful. So it shows how unsuccessful it would have been trying to pull Moss out, because A was further down and B was a lot bigger than I was. I can remember Joe Berger being present.
Because I believe you were almost on one of the photographs that Joe Berger took, weren't you?
Yeah, it was actually it was a mock-up of the way they tried to extract the body, and they took a shot of them with a pulley over the top of the shaft. And I think the caption was this is trying to extract the body, but in fact it was me on the other end of the rope, not the body. But I know that Joe Berger's command of the English language suddenly deteriorated once he saw the actual shaft that Moss was in, and he took these photographs, which. I believe the camera was handed in to the police, but the film was in his pocket, and the shots appeared in Parrymax, didn't they, the following week?
Pulled a fast one then. Stonemason Dennis Manton was also with Ralph's party in the chamber.
Fortuitously, there was a stonemason in the party who carved the inscription here. Just about make out 1959 Neil Moss, R.I.P.
Having done the best he could with the few tools available to him, Dennis joined others gathering rocks from the top of the chamber to seal off the lower section of the shaft. Dennis and Les Salmon were the last to leave the cave, which was shortly afterwards closed to all visitors until after the inquest. Neil Moss was a young, fit, experienced caver who became trapped through an unfortunate series of mishaps, all which came together to seal his fate. From the loose boulder trapping the ladder to the spacing of the rungs, the use of carbide lamp, and the rapid build-up of carbon dioxide gas which overcame him and prevented anyone from getting close enough to help. The High Peak coroner, Mr. Henry Hartley, recognised these factors and rightly concluded that no fault lay with the members of the original party or the actions of his rescuers. A verdict of death by misadventure was recorded. Both Mr. Hartley and Neil's parents praised the efforts of all concerned, but many rescuers felt sad that despite their best efforts, the result didn't save a life, and they wished to forget what one newspaper described as a magnificent failure. Later that year, Les Salmon was awarded the British Empire Medal for his part in the rescue, as was John Thompson. Ron Peters received the George Medal. All three wished to accept their honours on behalf of their many colleagues who toiled so selflessly in such terrible conditions. Neil's body still resides deep below the chamber that bears his name, Moss Chamber. Some years after the rescue attempt, the mud-coated stalagmite was cleaned and the chamber restored to something of its former glory. It's still a beautiful and fitting resting place, which is visited by cavers on a regular basis during the winter months. The impact of Neil's extraordinary and prolonged fight for life was felt around the world, and many expressed their thoughts in touching tributes. Perhaps one of the most moving is the one that appeared in the Manchester Guardian on the 25th of March 1959.
I think if it happened again, the results would be the same. I can't see how we could have got him out. How anyone could have got him out. No, I can't.